whose nostalgia for his wasted glory days with ANC has pushed him into bed with equal displaced G43 of characters whose penchant of publicity is what operated. It is no secret that he is the latest outrage who chose front for the federalism of the self-exile about counter-revolutionary pursuits. Malema's continued senseless attacks on the Zimbabwean government and ZANU-PF and the threats to close Zimbabwean embassy in South Africa only confirmed his ill-advised fatal objective of undermining the strong and healthy diplomatic relations between Zimbabwe and their sovereign neighbor, South Africa, and the binding revolutionary ties sealed with the blood of patriots between ZANU-PF and ANC. From the onset, ZANU-PF, from this very foundation, has been at the heart of caring for Zimbabwean lives. This has been done through the waging of a bitter and protracted liberation struggle, where patriots, fathers may be happy to sacrifice, losing precious lives, and limbs in the process. The Revolutionary Party proved its fullest commitment to Zimbabwean lives. Under the current Second Republic, captained by the shrewd Comrade E.T. Nagaba, the ZANU-PF-led administration has embarked on various pro-people economic policies, such as Vision 2030, which are steadily yielding fruit. In response to the COVID-19 global pandemic, government continues to leave no stone unturned, even in the midst of adversity, to ensure that Zimbabwean lives are safeguarded. If Malema is truly more concerned about Zimbabwean lives than the Zimbabwean government, as he would have this valuable audience believe, then he should be at the forefront in defending them from the poisonous culture of targeted xenophobia endemic in his own country. You should be organizing these noisy demonstrations to that end. That is precisely where his energies are more relevant. We wish to make it abundantly clear to Mr. Malema that as a self-determined sovereign state, Zimbabwe does not seek his illiterate approval of policy decisions of national consequence. His ill-considered groundless attack on the government's program to compensate former white commercial farmers for improvements made on farms tied to the Land Reform program not only exposes his lack of historical knowledge on Zimbabwe and regional geopolitics, but also betrays his intellectual childishness in the act of statecraft. The politician that he claims to be, in fact, Julius Malema is a non-political flip-flopper, unfaithful even to himself. On various occasions, Nelson Mandela, Robert Mugabe, Thabo Mbeki, and Jacob Zuma alternated with astonishing frequency between being his reverend heroes and his sworn enemies. This is, however, hardly surprising from a man who once claimed that he would never form a political party for the ANC, even if he got fired, the leopard, and his cause. Mr. Malema should know that the land issue still remains at the crux of Zimbabwean politics, being the reason why so many of their sons and daughters took up arms to destroy colonialism and imperialism. It was not a war informed by racism, but by the ideal of an egalitarian running society where life in the New Zimbabwe, white black matter, is still does today. The successful prosecution of this struggle was without any aid of lectures or rather from Mr. Malema and his efforts. In fact, the enduring struggle has seen our president, Comrade E.T. Nagaba, as a youthful steward party, as a senior party functionary, and later as a government official, participating in every phase of decolonization to make sure indigenous people got empowered through land repossession. We will not allow his administration to be vilified by fly-by-night political opportunists whose only claim to ideology so far is being able to sing in the most uncouth tones for the highest bidder. For the record, the Zimbabwean government's multi-tier partnership to compensate the former white farmers fulfills requirements of the Constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Chapter 16, Section 295, Subsection 3, as read in Section 72, Subsection 3A, which obligates the state to pay compensation for improvements that were on land when such land was acquired. The Zimbabwean Constitution is, as a matter of principle, covered. And equally so is the government under competitive number. The land reform program, which saw in excess of more than 400,000 families benefiting from land, was instituted to correct a grievous historical imbalance in land tenure, not to settle racist scores. It was to improve Zimbabwean lives, and that means white, black, or any color Zimbabwean in identity. The compensation agreement, therefore, does not in any way seek to reverse the gains of either the land reform program or the labor access struggle. If anything, it consolidates our inclusive Zimbabwe claim as the rightful owners of the means of production. As the ZANU-PF victim, we are doubly aware that Julius Malema has quickly become the newest pawn in the geopolitical house, fertile anti-revolutionary shenanigans, and close the war to destabilize our peaceful nation and endanger Zimbabwean lives. He has joined the bandwagon of riot dogs, recruited to make noise on behalf of the spineless and intellectually bereft Zimbabwean political opposition, whose habit of impressing their sponsors by manufacturing chaos whenever we approach international gatherings has gone secretly predictable. The 42nd Ordinary Summit of Heads of States and Government will be held virtually from 10 to 17 August 2020. And it is clear that the hashtags, demos, and shameless appeals for celebrity endorsement are all part of a broad sponsored agenda-setting gimmick calculated to smuggle their dreams of a neo-colonial Zimbabwe onto the agenda. However, their project remains doomed as we will stay united as Zimbabweans. Unfortunately, in our resolve to ensure that all regime forces and their local mercenaries are defeated, because to us, Zimbabwe's lives have always been very, very important. So this is the task of our message today, to tell those people who want to interfere in our local affairs that Zimbabwe is a sovereign state. It is a government and President Nagabo is making sure that the lives of people are actually improved. This is done through Vision 2030. This is done through many other policies that are for people. ZANU-PF has always been for the people. ZANU-PF is not colonialism. ZANU-PF is the one that can for the people. And it did not require any lecture from Julius Malema or from anyone. But it was a national question which straight to trace back to the 1970s. I think that marks the end of my message.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for the very eloquent and speech that you have given to Zimbabwe in regards to the behavior and characteristics of Julius Malema, who we have never expected to do any better as a young man who has never been able to stand firm for any decision. He has never been able to realize that Zimbabwe and South Africa have a long history of comradeship, and these utterances are really unnecessary, especially at this point in time when both countries are facing the COVID-19 pandemic as well as the integration of our own activities. So, Jeff, thank you so much for this presentation, and also to journalists, everyone from each media house, and everyone who was also coming in attendance of this press conference. Thank you guys so much, and keep coming to our conferences in the future. We really appreciate you working with us. Oh, you guys, do you have any questions? Or any clarifications that you might want? National Secretary should clarify the report to his own. What's your name?
If Julie has provided us utterance of creating content so since it's not important, they are very important.
All right. Thank you very much. When someone was saying that the comment makes the nation become some interest. And we know how interesting it is in all of this interpretation is one beyond the borders. So we are setting the record straight. We are aware that Julius Malema is not going to change terms with the South African politics because he's not the government of South Africa. But he's someone who is just commenting on things based on this information is uninformed. That's why we are commenting, because we are commenting, because we are expressing the one information is we
and I also want to say that these are issues of national pride. When they have anti-attack country, we don't see it as something that allows us to sit back and watch that person denigrating our own. If a young person is in another country and wants to engage in that person should be able to talk to us with respect and understanding that we in Zimbabwe believe in our own sovereignty. And if there are any issues, we should be able to be allowed to do our issues as young Zimbabweans. We really do not tolerate Julius Malema trying to make as if he is smarter than the young person around. We do not tolerate him saying anything against our country.
Malvin Koramba Finance. Acting Secretary, you talked about coordinated attacks and agenda setting whenever there is a global event that is going to happen. What are you doing? What are you doing as UPD to counter those narratives?
Thank you very much, Parata. I think you should understand the fact that when it comes to such global events, this has always been happening. But one way is to protect the positive image. What Zimbabwe is trying to do in the face of this endemic, which threatens the social economic sphere of the country. So it's not only the duty of the UN secretary, but there are also other governments that are responsible for ensuring that they set the picture of the successes of what the country is doing. One of them, I think, we had to speak by the president yesterday, clarifying the trajectory that the country is going through to ensure that we assist those people who are suffering, those people that are being affected by COVID. We're also seeing on the economic front, the influence that is also there. So the best way is to project the positive steps that are being done by the government to ensure that we have that our people actually have the economic reform that they so desire. And this is not a one-day event, it's a process, it's something that is done step by step, with appropriate movement. But we take into account the fact that as youth, they are continuously spreading the gospel of the true efforts that the leadership are doing to ensure that our economy is protected. We are talking about agricultural carbon plan, which is there in the seeds going to be distributed soon to the masses to make sure that our people have got enough food as we in the face of the drought. There are many other efforts. This model story is there. Efforts which are being done. But we have the people who are forewarned when they are told that don't do this, if you do this, it will endanger others. And those people are, when they don't listen, and if they are listening, they start to that they are being, they start to complain that their rights are being violated. So this is the problem that we are facing. And these people, for the record, they have nothing else to do. They have nothing else to do. That's their That's the business that they're making. These are democratic ones. They get money through cause and confusion. They don't like anything about Zimbabwe. But President Nagagwa is working day and night to ensure that our economy recovers.
Okay, any other question?